Anna Gomes, local communities in Europe, are they key for the solution of radicalization of youth?
Yes, absolutely. That's what all the experts tell us. Mobilizing the local communities is crucial. But of course, they themselves are not enough alone. They need support. They need a strategy. Support by the member states at the central level, support at the European level, namely financial, and support through the exchange of best practices, how to identify the people who are in the process of radicalizing, how to mobilize resources from the families, supporting the local institutions such as school, clubs, local authorities, into coming in and preventing that process of radicalization to take place. We have already some good practices in some cases where the local authorities took that in hand, but they wouldn't have been able to do it without proper support, financial, and from their national state, but as well from the European level. And therefore, their mobilization is crucial, but only them cannot make the difference. They need proper support at the national and the European level.
Anna Gomes, you said that they need support at European level, but when you heard that there are 60,000 radicalized people, at the same time there is no common strategy of the EU. How can we overcome it?
I think we are trying to build that common strategy, and that's exactly why you have now a commissioner for security, Julian King, why you have interaction with other commissioners. You saw today here Pierre Moscovici talking about the need to fight, for instance, the carousel fraud in the VAT system that provides a huge sum of money deviated from European coffers into organized crime, including terrorist activities. You have the commissioners working on anti-money laundering and other aspects that are absolutely essential. But yes, we still have a lot to do. We need a strategy for communication, for mobilization of all the intellectuals at the different levels, a structure to share the good practices in fighting radicalization. Crucial is also social policies that will prevent exclusion of communities. Many of the people that we know have been radicalized are people either who have been left to petty delinquents, or also we know that today that with the outreach of social media, digital platforms, of course it's much faster and wider the outreach of criminal organizations. We need to understand their logic and not to play into the hands of their logic. Ostracizing, for instance, or targeting Muslim communities in Europe as if they were the source of radicalization, not understanding they are crucial allies in the fight against radicalization, is essential in my opinion. And therefore we need indeed to share these good practices, the good examples, to have a strategy that is fine-tuned to indeed where we need to indeed fight and where we are playing into the hands of those recruiting terrorists, therefore radicalizing. And we need to pay attention to a number of areas, including the financing of terrorism, as the audition today demonstrated.
But do you think this strategy is reachable within the cleavage between left and right in Europe in ways to treat radicals? Because you mentioned now that there are different visions of left and...
Exactly, this is not about left and right. This is indeed about understanding that we need to counter the ideology, but as well the methodology that terrorist groups are using to try to recruit among the people who feel alienated, who feel left out of society, who feel excluded, be it young people because they have no jobs or no education opportunity, or because they were allowed to fall into petty crime and so on. So we need, with these huge numbers that were mentioned today, we need absolutely to mobilize our societies to understand what is at stake. Not to think that we are the focus of all that activity. We have had experts here who actually say that the 95% of the victims of terrorism in the world today are Muslims. We need to understand that. Therefore, we cannot alienate our Muslim communities. We need to, they are ours, and we need them to mobilize against the fighting of terrorism, and therefore against those who preach hate and who advocate extreme violence to solve all sorts of conflicts. That requires social policies that really understand that we have a major problem in our own societies, and we cannot win this problem by alienating segments of our societies.